Pharmaceutical. Let me hand over the session to Dr. Yazmi Shalvaraj. Over to you, ma'am. I will stop sharing the slides. You can then now share your slides.
Share our slides. Thank you so much for your kind words. At the outset, I would like to thank the Cadila for giving me this opportunity to share my experience and the speech on recent trends in the management of recurrent endometriomas, especially sclerotherapy. So it is defined, endometriosis is defined as estrogen-dependent disease, frequently resulting in substantial morbidity, severe pelvic pain, affecting the reproductive health. It requires multiple surgeries and with impaired fertility. Clinically, it is defined as presence of ectopic endometrium that is lying outside the uterus, resulting in sustained inflammatory reaction. It is found predominantly in women of reproductive age group. The exact prevalence is not known. An estimated 176 million women worldwide and 26 million women in India suffer from endometriosis. Nearly around 50% of infertile female have endometriosis. When we look into the pathophysiology of endometriosis, there are lots of immunological factors that are significantly involved in the pathogenesis of endometriosis. There is cytokine dysregulation. The endometrial cells are able to exploit the promotion of vasculogenesis and angiogenesis mediated by the inflammatory response. There is still debate going on whether to classify endometriosis as an inflammatory condition or as an autoimmune disorder. So this is the revised American Society of Reproductive Medicine classification, which takes into account the peritoneum, ovary, and also the tubes. Next slide. So we see that the fourth stage is the frozen pelvis stage. Okay. Next. There are several causes which delays the diagnosis of endometriosis. Ultrasound plays a major role in diagnosis. In current clinical practice, laparoscopy is required for definitive diagnosis of early endometriosis. There are lots of risk factors which are associated with endometriosis. They are as follows. That is infertility, early age at menarche, shorter menstrual cycle, heavy menstrual bleeding, nulliparity, Mullerian anomalies, diethylstilbestrol exposure in utero, dioxin exposure, endometriosis in the first degree relative, and previous history of medical or surgical therapy. So the clinical features, maybe either it is asymptomatic or it is associated with pelvic pain. It may be associated with or without infertility. Pain related to endometriosis may present as any of the following, like painful menstruation, that is dysmenorrhea, dyspareunia, dysuria.
Ma'am, can I intervene for a second? You have to be a bit louder, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I suppose it will be okay.
Yeah, the symptoms are dysmenorrhea, dyspareunia, dysuria, dyschezia, and low back pain or abdominal discomfort, and chronic pelvic pain, which may last for more than 6 months. Okay, next. So when we look into the clinical features, the uterus may be retroverted, fixed, and adnexal mass may be palpated. The uterosacrals may be nodular, thickened, and tender. In current clinical practice, laparoscopy is required for definitive diagnosis of endometriosis. There are lots of causes for infertility in endometriosis. Now see what are they. There is ovulatory dysfunction leading on to abnormal folliculogenesis, and ovulation may be there. There may be luteal phase defect, and there is luteinization of unruptured follicle. The immunological alterations are decreased sperm survival, and there is altered immunity. The peritoneal factors are intraperitoneal inflammation. There may be local production of prostaglandins and cytokines. And also it interferes with the implantation by endometrial dysfunction. There are lots of mechanical factors which cause infertility, like anatomical distortion of tubes, altered tubal motility, interference with ovum pickup, and there is because of peritubal adhesions. It all there is coital function is very much disturbed because of the severe dyspareunia, and sperm inactivation is also done by the macrophages by phagocytosis. Next. When we look into the management of endometriosis, there is conventional method like expectant management for the early endometriosis, medical therapy, surgery, and sclerotherapy. There are known sclerosing agents like ethanol, tetracycline, and methotrexate. But there are some newer sclerosing agents that are coming up, like leuprolide, cephalosporin sulbactam, interferons
Yes.
or interleukins, recombinant interleukin 2, metronidazole. For infertile patients, in case of very low AMH, either we advise them IVF and embryo transfer, or they can go for oocyte donation. The medical therapies in endometriosis is non-specific, non-curative, and aimed at alleviating symptoms till menopause or until pregnancy is desired. Medical therapies, there is the rationale is to induce amenorrhea and create a hypoechoic, hypoestrogenic environment, theoretically inhibiting growths and promoting temporary regression. The side effects may be intolerable for some. Symptoms recur upon cessation of therapy. Fertility is eliminated during treatment as medical suppression inhibits ovulation. Selection of medical therapy depends upon the therapeutic effectiveness, tolerability, drug cost, patient's experience, and expectant patient's compliance. The current medical therapies like hormonal contraceptives, gonadotropin releasing hormones, danazole, and non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. Nowadays, we are not using danazole. The major limiting factor of currently available drugs are their adverse effects and the ability of the patient to tolerate them. There is dissatisfaction amongst patients regarding the effectiveness of the therapies and, their impact on their lives. Dynagist, this is a synthetic oral progesterone with unique pharmacological properties. It has no androgenic effect. There is good progesterogenic effect on the uterus. It has a favorable profile and a tolerability profile also. It is very safe. Pregnancy can't be achieved during Dynagist. That's the only drawback or only limitation. It is an expensive drug for developing and underdeveloped countries because it ought to be continued for a longer time, like 12 to 24 months, to achieve regression. The surgical treatment is the mainstay for endometrioma, measuring more than 5 centimeters. Laparoscopic excision of the wall of endometrioma should be considered as the procedure of choice. Concerns have been raised as to the possibility that surgical excision may damage the ovarian reserve. But recent evidences demonstrate that part of the damage may be due to the disease itself. The indications to surgical treatment should balance between the advantages and disadvantages. Advantages of surgeries are satisfactory pain relief, increase in the pregnancy rate, and obtaining tissue specimen in case of unexpected malignancies. The disadvantages are damage to the ovarian reserve and drop in AMH, resulting in infertility. So the limitations of surgeries are in patients who fail to conceive spontaneously after surgery. ART is more effective than repeated surgeries. Following surgery, the ovarian reserve may be reduced to as determined by
then you
AMH.
understand that you have to first and try with other sources, or counsel them, and next step.
See, there is disturbances. In women with large endometriomas more than 5 centimeters, the ovarian endometrioma should be removed. In women who have failed ART, further management remains controversial. What is sclerotherapy? Sclerotherapy was originally used to treat tuberculous pneumonitis and is currently used by medical oncologists to treat malignant pleural effusion. In India, it's often considered the treatment of choice for small varicose veins and it is practiced in Delhi. Sclerotherapy involves injecting a solution directly into the vein in case of varicose veins. This sclerosing lotion causes the vein to scar, forcing blood to enroute through healthier veins. The collapsed vein is reabsorbed into a local tissue and eventually it fades. Why sclerotherapy? In the year 2016, April, a patient with severe endometrioma who had already undergone 3 surgeries and the last surgery was just 3 months ago. She told me that she was threatened by her husband and her in-laws to be divorced if she doesn't beget a child within a year. This is the plight of many of our women in our Indian society, you know. She and her parents were sobbing in my cabin. So the plight of this patient triggered my empathy towards her and made me search the internet for an alternative therapy for endometriosis, which can give a quicker relief and resume her fertility at a shorter time. I was also teaching in an institution like Madurai Medical College as assistant professor, but I didn't know that there was an entity like sclerotherapy for endometriosis. So this is when I came across a treatment called sclerotherapy, which was practiced in US, Japan, Taiwan, Canada, and Israel. I was astonished to know about that. So what is the mechanism of sclerotherapy? The cellular mechanisms involved in sclerotherapy of ovarian endometriomas are not fully known, but it seems that epithelial cells lining the cyst wall play an essential role when adequate contact between the sclerosing agent and the cyst wall is achieved. There is activation of coagulation cascade and production of mediators of inflammation, causing fibrosis of the epithelial lining cells, leading to cyst wall adherence. There's another mechanism also put forth that is like might enhance the cytotoxic activity of macrophages and natural killer cells to suppress the endometrial activity in the cell lining. This is lining. So this is a novel, cheap, simple OP procedure for treating endometriomas. In developing and underdeveloped countries, where people can't afford much for medical management and repeated surgeries, we tried this newer modality for treating endometriomas. The selection criteria included women in reproductive age, and those who are infertile or yet to complete their family were selected. And there should not be any associated pathology like fibroids or other things. Patients should have been suffering from recurrent endometriosis, and they would have either undergone repeated surgeries or recurrent surgeries for endometriomas. And those who belong to stage 3 and stage 4 are the patients that were selected for this. So the procedure. Now let's see what was the procedure. In sclerotherapy, under aseptic precaution, under antibiotic coverage, we start the antibiotic from the very previous day of doing this aspiration. The endometriomas were sequentially aspirated or mechanically aspirated with a needle of 17 gauge and 35 centimeters long, which we use for the ovum pickup, and flushed with sterile saline until the aspirated fluid was clear. Using Kraft aspirator and guided by the transvaginal sonography, an injection of leuprolide 1 milligram and 1 cc of cefoperazone sulfactam were injected after completing the aspiration. But the dose depends on the